Welcome back to Royalty. I'm your host, Crown Vic. Today we're going to be talking about put on the whole armor of God. Put on the whole armor of God. Ephesians chapter 6 verses 11 states, "Put on the whole armor of God, that ye may be able to stand against the wiles of the devil." In this day and age, it is so easy to be influenced by outside factors or inside factors. It doesn't always have to be outside factors. It could be something that goes on just within your own mind. And really, as I believe this is a quote, I can't remember exactly who it comes from. It's a Hermetic quote. I believe it's by Hermes that says the universe is mental. Right? The universe is mental. We all see our current reality in different ways. All right, we see the world in different ways. Some people are experiencing hell while other people are experiencing heaven or bliss right here on this world. You see, me personally, I don't believe in a physical place of hell, it being a geological place with hell and brimstone, as a lot of people describe, such as in Dante's Inferno. But more so, hell is more so your psychology. All right. So in other words, you could be right here waking up in your current life and it's hell on earth. You have a lot of problems when it comes to your place of work. You got a lot of problems when it comes to your family or relatives or friends, so or brothers and sisters or boyfriend, girlfriend, husband, wife. You know, you're having all types of problems that you're constantly dealing with. And for a lot of people, this world that we're living on right now is hell. It's hell right here on earth. And for some other people, very few people are experiencing heaven right here on earth. The people who are experiencing heaven, just things seem to be falling in place. How I describe the people who experiencing hell, it's kind of like that saying, if everything that can go wrong will go wrong, versus the saying, that I just kind of used as an opposite to that, is that everything that can go right will go right. Things seem to just fall into place. These are the people who experience heaven right here on this earth. What is the difference? You see, there's this idea in ancient China. I believe it's by this philosopher. It's called the Wu-Wei flow. So the Wu-Wei flow is that you need to find, to kind of give you a gist of it. All right, a gist, a summary, just an idea of what the Wu-Wei flow is about. I'm not the expert when it comes to Wu-Wei flow, so don't come to the channel looking for expert advice on this subject matter. There's just floating an idea out here. And the idea is that we all have a gift, a reason why we're here on earth. And once we get in alignment with that self identity, then things start to just fall into place. You start to be in a balance. So if life is like a symphony in which the universe is playing a certain frequency and it's a rhythm and there's drums being played, are you dancing along with the rhythm? Are you flowing with the flow of life? Are you going with the Wu-Wei flow, right? Or are you just bumping into all these people who are dancing on a dance floor? Huh? Are you constantly having strife? Are you constantly finding yourself in conflict with other people? Are you constantly finding yourself down, out of tune with reality? Are you constantly upset? Are you constantly depressed? Are you constantly feel like you are alone? Are you out of the Wu-Wei flow? So there's a difference between those who are in alignment and those who are in alignment and those who are out of alignment. Those who are in the Wu-Wei flow, those who are out of the Wu-Wei flow. Those who are experiencing heaven right here on earth and those who are experiencing hell right here on earth. What is the difference? We all have an inner child that is reaching out, trying to touch us. And by touching us, I'm talking about not in a weird type of way, but touching us as far as get in tune and get our attention, trying to get us back to the good old days. The days before the world weighed us down with responsibility, expectations, and all these things that pretty much just distract us from our inner child. See, our inner child was the innocent life that we lived before the world corrupted us. What is that innocent self? What is that inner self? Like before our personality developed, some people describe the personality as a collection of trauma. Who were you before your trauma? Who were you at in your most innocent state when whatever you did when you were a child was the thing that you really loved doing? For me, it was I like to draw. For me, I like to play music. For me, it was something that is dealing with something creative. All right. So before I became a truck driver or a teacher or whatever I did for my career, what was I doing in my spare time that I like to do? Can I get back into that frequency per se? Right? And so put on the whole armor of God. What is this all about? How do I interpret it? Right? So for me, when I interpret certain scriptures from the Bible, I don't see it in a literal way as some people might read the Bible to be. And to them, if that's how you want to read the Bible, to you, more power. But for me, it's all metaphysical. For me, it's more, are you on a spiritual advanced state to where you could read the Bible and you understand the Bible enough to apply it in your life in a meaningful, impactful, and an intelligent way, especially a wise way. There's a difference between intelligence and wisdom. All right, intelligence is that you have to know how, but wisdom is when to apply it, right? There are a lot of people who have access to a lot of knowledgeable AI technology, but do they have the wisdom to discern when to use it and when not to use it, how to use it, when to use it, where to use it, so on and so forth. A lot of people have the intelligence to make the atomic bomb, but wisdom is more so along the lines of, is this actually wise to create? Just because I know how to make a bomb that can blow up the entire world, does not mean that I should do that. Wisdom versus intelligence. Put on the whole armor of God. See, in our truest state, and I'm going to reference the Garden of Eden. The Garden of Eden was in our natural state as human beings, when we did not think of anything evil. Before the eating of the tree of good and evil, we were always in a state of bliss. We were always in a state of comfort. We were not aware or afraid of the dangers that may be tigers, that may be any predators out there that might be after us, because everything was essentially their friend as far as Adam and Eve goes. But as soon as they took part of this Garden of Eden's tree of knowledge of good and evil, right? The forbidden tree, they start to understand that there are bad things out here. And these thoughts are constantly ciphering through our psyche throughout the day. These thoughts that tells us that we're not good enough. These thoughts that tells us that we're not worthy. These thoughts that make us struggle. You see, I believe that karma is not something that's outside of us, a mysterious force per se, but more so a subconscious effect of our personality. The personality that we are not consciously aware of. Like, for example, some of us might act like we see ourselves as, oh, I have great posture, and when I speak, people can hear what I'm saying. But the whole time when you're walking with a humpback, right? And you don't even realize you're walking with a humpback. But the whole time you're walking with a humpback until somebody points it out, right? And not only that, but if you're speaking in a low tone, people are going to perceive that as you being timid, you're being weak, you're not really strong enough, you don't have enough testosterone, whatever have you, if you're not effective in presenting yourself in this way. And oftentimes when people have this weak posture, when people have this timid voice, or even that gaze itself, if it's not looking directly at you and it's constantly looking elsewhere, it can mean many different things. One of these things is obviously you might be considered weak to some people, or some people may find that you are deceitful, right? You can't look them in the eye, so you might be telling a lie because you're not an honest person and people can't trust you. And so therefore, if you carry yourself in this type of way, people may, one, not trust you. They may not respect you, and they might even bully you if you're especially those of us in grade school with this type of behavior, right? And so this karma, whatever you want to call this, is pretty much in this subconscious way, and it's affecting our personality all the way down to the way we carry ourselves in the physical world. And therefore we attract, through that karma subconscious mind state, certain interactions that we have with other people, certain situations we might find ourselves in, or the opportunities that are given to us, or the lack of opportunities that is neglected from us, right? And so if we are we bring more consciousness to this subconscious self into our personality, that's when we become more conscious and aware of our movement throughout this world. Put on the whole armor of God. What does this mean exactly? Putting on the whole armor of God is just bringing awareness to this, which we are not aware of. Once again, we're talking about the subconscious versus the consciousness. Consciousness is the I amness. It's bringing the light to the dark places where we are not really aware of the things that we are doing. So if we are aware that our posture is weak, if we are aware that our voice is very low and it comes across timid, if we are aware that we're constantly darting our eyes and this is why people may not trust us, then we learn to practice to look directly in the eye of other people, to have better posture, fix our posture. And then when we speak, we speak loud enough for the other person to hear us, right? We speak loud enough, and then we correct ourselves. Not just the way we present ourselves in this physical world, but also just observing our own interactions with other people in general. And not only that, in dealing with other people, but also how we speak to ourselves, how we see ourselves. Because a lot of times we are not even aware that we see ourselves as losers, that we see ourselves as people who are bad people who are not capable. Sometimes we are not aware because all of this is in our subconscious mind. And as soon as we bring awareness to it, and then we say what we wish to be like rather than what we don't wish to be like, then we can start. The very first step is bringing awareness to it. And then by bringing awareness to it, focus on what you wish to see. And then continue to do that every day and every day. And day by day, you continue to grow in that field. You continue to get better. Slowly but surely. As long as you continue to keep taking that one step forward, that 2 step forward, that 3 step forward, slowly you're building your whole armor of God so that you can stand against the wiles of the devil. The devil being the one that tries to bring you down. The devil being the one that tries to keep you in the hell state, the hell consciousness, that constantly have everything in your life go wrong. You see, in my personal life, I figured out that there seems to be a chain reaction. Every time you react to bad things in your life, you're going to constantly encounter more bad things and then more bad things. And it just seems to just be coincidence how bad things seem to always just fall down in front of you. Doors closing in front of your face, and all opportunities that were once there seems to disappear. And it just seems as if that the hell that the people keep talking to me about that we would end up in is right here, the life that I'm currently living. But if I change my personality, change the way I present myself in this world, by changing the way I believe, my consciousness, what I believe, my subconsciousness, the way I'm not even aware that I behave and what I believe, then by putting on this whole armor of God, I become vigilant of these things and not slump back into this in these ways as I become more conscious. See, becoming conscious is the first step, but the second step is remaining consciousness. Remaining conscious. You can be conscious like for maybe 1 minute, but it's another thing to continuously practice being conscious throughout the entire day. Can you stretch that minute to 5 minutes? Can you stretch that 5 minutes to 30 minutes? That 30 minutes to an hour? The hour to 6 hours to 24 hours? That day to a week to a month to a year? It's all about doing it day by day, constantly growing in this consciousness, putting on the whole armor of God to not slump back into the wilderness. This is what I mean by putting on the whole armor of God. So I want to kind of end this here with this. I remember reading Rich Dad Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki. He talks about becoming wealthy. Earning wealth, for the one who understands how to earn wealth, is the easy part. Keeping wealth is a little bit different. It's all about maintaining that wealth by protecting it from those that seek to take it from you. Whether it be scammers, or it could just be people, along with scammers, be people that try to sue you for X, Y, and Z for whatever reason it may be. It could be people who try to sell you things that you may not need, or it could just be your own personal needs. You have to become guarded when it comes to protecting your wealth. And the same way when it comes to protecting your blessings from the light of the I amness, it's all about putting on the whole armor of God so that you can withstand the wiles of the devil. How will you put on your whole armor of God? What is your inner light? What is it? Why are you here? And what can you do to protect your inner light and allow it to shine? Once again, this has been Crown Vic. Thank you for watching. Share your comments below, and I'll see you next time.